How's it going, everyone? My name is Sin, and welcome back to yet another Higurashi When They Cry. We're still continuing on with the fragment collection of Chapter 8, Matsuri Bayashi. So let's go ahead and continue from where we last left off. So the next fragment we need to collect is Mysterious Death of the Furude Couple. Well, don't that about sums it up. I wonder what that could happen, huh? Yeah, what could happen? Okay. An execution order of the third year's curse is required. We just literally did that in the last video, which, by the way, there is, as always, a link in the description to the playlist, so go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, let's continue. Deep down, I was prepared for something to happen tonight, once again. The first year, the workers were stirred into a frenzy. Well, that's not good. Killing and dismembering the old man. And the second year, the Hojo couple were killed through a fake accident. Since the dam protests, only people who have been hated by the villagers died on the day of Watanagashi. Some people in the village were calling the incidents the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Now that the dam protests are over, there would be no meaning in the village's enemies being killed on the night of the festival, I thought. If that was true, then there were still some enemies left over. I thought that perhaps that would happen again on the night of the festival 3 years in a row. My hunch was right. At first, however, it looked so natural that I didn't think anything of it. Okay. The festival was nearing its end, and the village officials were gathered under the main tent. They opened their beers and enjoyed the leftover corn and braised cow tripe from the refreshment stands. I was in the main tent too, being entertained by the villagers. I'm trying to figure out who this is talking about. Well, the perspective of the person. I think it's Rika. Quite possibly. So I was actually there at the scene of the third year's incident when it happened. Yet I didn't notice anything at the beginning. Most of the older folk in the village were heavy drinkers, but a few were lightweights too. The priest was one of the latter. You bastard. The priest was a representative as well as a host during the Watanagashi festival. So every time visitors and guests arrived, he greeted them, and each time he was offered a drink. So by the night's end, he was pretty worn out. That's why I didn't think anything of it to see the priest sitting by himself in a folding chair. The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was the one to tap his shoulder and ask him if he was alright. When I saw what was going on, I noticed he was covered in a terrible sweat and was definitely not relaxing in his chair and enjoying the cool evening breeze. His face had a sickly pallor, and I thought he should lie down immediately.
ちょっと診療所にお連れした方がいいかもしれません。大丈夫ですか？私の肩につかまれますか？
おいおい、誰か手伝ってやれ。神主さん、調子が悪いらしいぞ。
うちの人どうかしたんですか？あなた？大 丈夫？
高野さん、ちょうど良いところに。神主さんの具合が悪いようなので診療所に連れて行きます。すみませんが、境内の下に車を回してもらってもよろしいですか？
ええ、お安いご用ですわよ。
So the priest and his wife headed to the clinic with Dr. Erie. I don't know anything about young people, but the elderly know their own bodies very well. They almost never push themselves to the point where they start feeling ill, especially someone like the priest. It was hard to imagine him drinking himself sick. The cumulative experience of my years are telling me something. I headed to the Erie Clinic just in case. Huh, maybe not. We're in a car. Are we in this perspective of Oishi-san? Maybe? I'm actually a little confused. I don't know who. God damn it! Anyway, sorry. I tried to follow their car, but because the festival was almost over and all the stands were closing up, there was a lot of traffic going in and out, making it almost impossible for me to leave the temporary parking lot. More than 20 minutes had passed since the priest was carried in by the time I arrived at the clinic. 20 minutes. If it hadn't taken me 20 minutes, my involvement in this year's incident would have been quite different. I regretted not leaving on foot the moment I realized how hard it was to get my car out. God damn my throat lately. What the hell? All I get to do now is jot down the facts. Because between the time of the priest left the festival and the time I arrived at the clinic, during those 20 minutes, this year's curse had taken place. The priest's condition changed for the worse right after he arrived at the clinic. He died. The autopsy results say it was heart failure, but how can I accept that? I don't think the priest was having health problems, and everyone was taken by surprise by this sudden event. Moreover, the wife of the priest disappeared too. According to the clinic staff, she was with him right after he died, but she's nowhere to be seen now. Well, don't you think that's a bit odd? Of course she's not at home either. Of course. Maybe someone poisoned the priest. Oh, maybe. During the dam conflict, the priest was frowned upon for his remarks. He said there was no need to make a big fuss, because the dam project would be cancelled anyway. The older villagers liked to hold grudges and hadn't forgotten that, so even I had heard word of them talking about how the priest wasn't fit for the shrine to Oyashiro-sama. I called for backup. Yep, okay, we're in the perspective of Oishi, okay. It makes sense, yeah, okay. Anyway, and had them go search for the missing wife. With last year's falling couple incident as precedent, it was easy to believe both wife and husband could become victims. The village's youth group got organized and searched the village to the mountains, and as a result, we found a set of sandals and a will by the edge of the Onigafuchi swamp. The will said something about how her husband's death was the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and she was throwing herself in the swamp to calm the god's anger. In other words, she committed suicide by jumping into the swamp. Suicide, my ass. Legends say that the swamp is bottomless and is connected directly to hell. Oh yes, the gateway to hell. Once you sink, you'll never come back. Divers from the police department searched the swamp, but her body was nowhere to be found. The past two mysterious incidents were solved individually, just as the higher-ups say. But something is odd about this year's mysterious death. The ill priest was carried to the clinic. His wife accompanied him. Within 20 minutes, the priest died of heart failure and the wife either committed suicide or disappeared. The death of the priest may really have been a fatal heart attack, but for his wife to assume that it was a curse, and to commit suicide by jumping into the swamp, for all that to happen in 20 minutes, just doesn't seem natural. No, it do not. The Furude family has no relatives. Even if she was a true believer in Oyashiro-sama, how could she commit suicide while leaving behind her one and only daughter? Eri is hiding something too, but he's just a village doctor, which means he's nothing more than their pawn. If this is all a conspiracy to assassinate the priest, then there is someone who's pulling the strings. I had been starting to think that that trying to tie the past two incidents to the village so forcefully was a bit overbearing of me, but this incident was enough to convince me that this series of cases involving mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa were all grounded in one intention. This incident has countless numbers of discrepancies, but someone from the village seems to be putting pressure on high command. And just like the past incidents, this one will be treated as an individual case and end up being forgotten. Since it happened 3 years in a row, everyone in the village will say it's the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I think that's the culprit's goal. After the war, belief in Oyashiro-sama became antiquated. If someone committing these murders as a ritual to restore that god's dignity, the one pulling the strings must be the Sonozaki family. That's where you're wrong. They're just accepting the credit. Because the old bag is crazy and she needs to be put down. Fucking Christ. A few months have passed. Oriyu Sonozaki said something like it was natural for that priest to be cursed by Oyashiro-sama, and so the priest's case was lumped together with the mysterious Hinamizawa deaths. I butchered that hard. I know. I am terribly sorry. Lumped together with the mysterious Hinamizawa, there we go, deaths, otherwise known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. At first, I simply wanted to avenge the old man. But now that the case had grown into an abnormal one, centered on the village's faith. Damn it! The old man's killer is human. I won't let it be pushed off onto some nonsense curse. And that's the end. Yep, okay. Sorry for that little mishap at the end there. My mouth is dry as a fucking bone. It happened so suddenly. Uncle Kayuzumi passed away. I never heard he was ill or wasn't feeling well. His chest started to hurt suddenly, and he couldn't sleep. He called an ambulance for the first time in his life because he didn't think he could endure the pain. He was taken into emergency care, but he didn't live to see morning. It was an acute myocardial infarction. Heart attack. But maybe it was the best possible way to go. Instead of being in bed for many years slowly dilapidating and withering away, he was healthy until his death, so I think he must have lived a wonderful life. But still, it was too sudden. I wish I had called him Uncle more. It's too late though. Uncle Kayuzumi would never smile at me again with his wrinkly old face. Okay. No matter how many times I called for him. He was my guardian until now. He always looked after me, making sure my efforts received proper recognition. Maybe he only did that because he couldn't help my grandfather when he was alive. But still, he was an important person to me. He wasn't just my political backing. But I didn't realize that when he was alive. I only thought of using his power for my own agenda. But after he died, I realized Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa too. Oh my god, I have two grandpas? Huh? Okay. Insert gay joke there, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. He provided the warmth and protection that I longed for from my own grandfather. At his funeral, I shed tears that I thought I forgot how to.
おじいちゃん、今までありがとう。もっとおじいちゃんって呼んであげればよかったね。
No matter how many times I called to him, he would never reply. What I can do for him at this point is complete my research. I must accomplish my goal for his sake. When my grandfather's research is finally acknowledged, Uncle Koizumi's name will be known once again for being the sole supporter of his endeavor. I believe that's the best way to repay him for everything he has done. I vow to devote myself to my work even more from this day on. But, unfortunately, hardships and sadness tend to come together. It was like the tailwind that blew steadily until today suddenly became a headwind. The winds shifted far too suddenly. So strong, so cold, so sad.
どういうことなの、ジローさん。
Oh my god, heartbreak.
小泉先生が入江機関設立の立役者だったの
I guess
は
not.
高野さんも知ってるよね。関係機関でなかなか承認の取れなかったのを小泉先生が強力に抑え込んで無理やり通させたって話なんだよ。何しろ医薬品業界で絶大な功績を挙げられた戦後日本復興の重鎮だからね。政財界に絶大な影響力を持たれていたし。
その小泉先生が亡くなって小泉先生が通した無理やりが通らなくなったということ。
あくまでも噂なんで本当のところは僕にもわからないんだけど、一部の予算配当やプロジェクトの見直しが行われるらしいというのを聞いたんだよ。
入江機関が廃止されるということ。
いや、入江機関を見直すというのは聞いたことないけど、ただ小泉先生の死後、長老たちの派閥や勢力、後継者争いがややこしくなっているってもっぱらの噂なんだ。すでにクライアントの人事にかなりの影響を与え始めてるらしいんだ。それで小泉派が主導していたプロジェクトや聖域予算に対し締め付けが行われるんじゃないかって憶測が飛び交ってるらしいんだよ。もちろんそれらは全て僕にとって雲の上の話だからね。伝え聞いた噂話でしかないんだけれど。
Oofa. Even after his death, greedy little fucks. Damn. Alright. Money, money, money! Gyro-san kept saying there were rumors. Ha! Rumors. Ha! Okay. But that told me the wind's direction has changed. Or maybe Gyro-san already knows everything and is simply trying to warn me about it. Yeah, I would take that as a warning as well. And then, at our next routine audit, Gyro-san made it clear with his own mouth. High-ranking government officials who had never came here before, attended the routine audit along with Gyro-san. Just by seeing those faces, I could tell the turning point is approaching.
ご存知の通り、 アルファベットプロジェクトは戦後日本の国際的な地位向上を目的としたものです。
Damn! Alright. Once he puts that suit on, he's all official and everything. That change in the way he speaks. Holy crap. Alright.
ですが、すでに昭和も50年代に至り、西暦は21世紀を間近にしております。
Or maybe that's not him. Because it's saying government official, it's not saying Gyro-san. But showing him. So is it not him that's speaking? Maybe not. Maybe I just did all that for nothing. I genuinely thought that was him. Oh my god. Nope, I'm a boob. Okay. Oh, come on! I'm not reading that. You can pause and read if you want to. He meant exactly what he said. Japan has already put the past behind, and it's cutting off its ties to the ghosts that wished to resurrect the militaristic might of the pre-war era.
戦後40年間、我が国は世界への平和的貢献を模索し、国際的地位を確立するに至りました。日本は国際社会において重要なポジションを担う国家として成熟し、来世紀にはますますにその存在感を強めることでしょう。
The Alphabet Project, the main sponsor of the Erie Institute, are a group of people who want to develop a weapon that would act as a deterrent to the nuclear weapons which Japan is forbidden to own. So they've come to the Erie Institute, one of its branch organizations, to tell us Japan has now renounced nuclear arms. So the Erie Institute will be facing a strong, cold headwind from now on. The roll of the die that came up with 1 on that stormy day has reappeared. I won't let the result of the die affect me. The power of my will won't be beaten by some god's roll of the dice.
よって現在時代に即した形になるようアルファベットプロジェクトの見直しを進めています。
Damn, that's a lot of words. Good thing I don't have to read it.
新生アルファベットプロジェクトは国際交流と経済発展の二軸からなる平和外交の見地から日本の地位向上を模索していくことになるでしょう。
Okay. All of the people who hold a tremendous influence in the politics and economy of Japan were born before the war, so naturally they want to regain the glory of pre-war Japan. The very idea that we can win next time if we research the new bomb that defeated us is itself a specter of the war. No. Everyone already realized that. It was just that no one could speak out against the grand-standing elders they owed their gratitude towards. Soon the old will wither away and the new generation will take control. Yeah. Uncle Kaizumi was, in a way, the last remaining pillar for the old generation. His death is a chance for the new generation to step in. The things they couldn't argue openly are now being discussed. They've pointed out that from the beginning, the Alphabet Project was created for the personal satisfaction of a small group of people, and it sucked money out of the treasury. And so the new generation of politicians have taken over from the old.
よってアルファベットに関わるすべてのプロジェクトで今後大幅な予算の見直しが図られていくことになります。これはもちろん入江機関も例外ではありません。どうかご了解をいただけますようよろしくお願いいたします。
わかりました。私たちもスポンサーあっての研究です。どうかよろしくお願いいたします。
Erie responded appropriately, but he's obviously bewildered. The best equipment and staff are being provided to the Erie Institute. In other words, our research requires a huge amount of money. For those with no interest in Hinamizawa syndrome, they probably won't be able to understand why that much money is being put into the research of disgusting parasites. If they are simply going to revise our budget, that would be fine. We were receiving more than enough money. That would naturally be adjusted. It hurts, but we can endure. That's what I thought. But if just enduring it was enough, it wouldn't be a 1 on the die. So even in that sense, this is definitely a roll of a die coming up as 1.
でありまして、この4月に新体制の理事会が発足し、全プロジェクトに対する新方針が示されました。これにつきましては、お配りします資料をご覧ください。
His papers were then passed around. He started to go over the details, but I read through quickly so I could learn about their stupid decisions first.
入江機関はこれまで先進的な研究において数々の目覚ましい成果を上げられ、未知であったひなみざわ症候群の全貌解明、そして治療薬の開発を成し遂げました。理事会でもこの成果は大変に高く評価しています。これもすべて入江所長以下入江機関全職員のたゆみない努力によるものと思っております。
いえ、恐縮です。
Even while he received their congratulations, a tense atmosphere surrounded me and Erie. It's customary to start the conversation in the opposite way you're planning to take it, before delving into your main point to convey. If the main issue is something good, then start with something bad. Or vice versa.
入江機関の研究目的は2つありました。ひなみざわ症候群の研究と治療法の確立、そして多面運用の模索です。新生理事会はこの後者の多面運用の模索については即時の中止を決定しました。これらの研究開発が国内で行われていた事実と痕跡は今後はむしろアキレス腱になりかねません。入江機関は直ちにこれに関わるすべての研究を中止し、一切を破棄してください。
わかりました。ご指示に従います。
Erie replied with that immediately. Erie was assertive about finding a cure, but he was never even remotely interested in researching the disease's use for military purposes. So I'm sure he has no qualms about concurring with such demands. But I don't agree, because our research will be more limited if we are just trying to find a cure. To me, finding that cure is simply a byproduct of my larger goal of discovering something about the syndrome. Not something, everything about the syndrome.
また、入江機関につきましては、最長3年以内をめどに研究の収束を図ってまいります。予算もそれに合わせ段階的に縮小する方針です。
Okay, that's it right there. That's why she suddenly takes a drastic measure. Okay. Ufa. Wrap up your work in 3 years. Damn.
ちょっと待ってください。近年ようやくひなみざわ症候群の全貌がわかり、今まさに治療法の研究を進めているところです。確かに研究は日々進んでおりますが、3年という短い期間で確実に完成させられることをお約束はできません。
理事会では入江機関はすでに治療薬について十分な研究を完成させているという認識です。すでに入江機関は治療薬 C117 を完成させ、その臨床データを多数。
いえ、完成なんてとんでもない。まだまだ試薬の域を出ず、村人全員を治療できる目処は全く立っていません。このような段階で研究終了ありきでの議論は全くもって無謀としか言いようがありません。
I'm surprised that Erie objected. Thanks to him, I didn't have to say anything. but if Iri hadn't objected, I'm sure I would have shrieked and protest.
それでは入江機関には現時点では感染者全員を治療し、ひなみ沢症候群を撲滅することは不可能だということですね。
そうです。もちろん村人全員の治療とひなみ沢症候群の撲滅は将来的には不可能なことではありませんし、私もそれを最大の目標にしています。ただそれには十分な時間が必要で、そのためには無論予算も必要です。私たちは調べ、実践し、確立する仕事をしています。設計図に従ってものを作り、期間があれば必ず決まった成果が出せる仕事とは事情が違います。どうかそこを誤解なさらないようにしていただきたいです。
I guess Iri speaks out when he needs to. And what he's saying is absolutely right. Research isn't something guaranteed to produce results with money and time. But I disagree with some of the things he said. He's objecting about the time and the money, but he's basically agreeing to limit our research only towards finding a cure for Hinamizawa syndrome. That won't do. We won't unravel any mysteries that way. At that rate, the discovery of the Hinamizawa syndrome won't be recognized as my grandfather's great achievement.
なるほど。入江所長のおっしゃることもごもっともと思います。私どもにとっての最大の目的は、軍事目的の研究が行われていたことの完全な破棄です。よって、ひなみ沢症候群という特殊現象が研究されていた痕跡と、そもそも存在していた事実についても隠蔽すべきであると考えます。最終的にひなみ沢症候群が世間に知られることなく撲滅されるならば、そのための期間と予算は必要不可欠なものでしょう。それについては今後協議を重ねていくということでよろしいでしょうか。
はい、依存ありません。
では入江機関はできるだけ早急にひなみ沢症候群撲滅を秘密裏に行えるプランと予算案を作成提出してください。極力ご指示を汲み取れるよう努力します。
わかりました。早急に提出いたします。
誤解ないようにしていただきたいのは、私どもはあくまでも研究を直ちに中断させようというのではなく、円満な形で研究を終了させようということです。この違いをご理解ください。
ええ、もちろん理解しております。
While I was listening to their conversation, I was struck dumbfounded with something they said. Eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. In other words, it would be as though Hinamizawa syndrome never existed. Sorry, I don't know why I had difficulty with that line. That was difficult for some reason. So my grandfather's name will never be revered by anyone. The sound of rustling papers and hushed proceedings filled the meeting room, but I only heard the ticking clock as I clutched my sweating palms. Okay, that was a breaking point there too. Because the whole point of this whole thing is to turn not only the grandfather but her as a quote-unquote god. But if this is all gonna happen in secrecy, then, you know, it won't go down in history. It won't go down in the books because it's gonna be down in this... it's gonna be happening in secrecy. And that's not what she wants. Alright. So, that actually opened eyes to a lot of things. The strange medicine that I can hardly remember was a capsule. Or maybe it was an oval tablet. It was so red, it must have been a capsule. I can't imagine a tablet in that color. It must have been a capsule. Okay. Can you get over it, please? Okay, weird already. I think it was a little bigger than a normal one. I think. I can't remember. although I can hardly remember if I see that medicine again. It will refresh my memory. That medicine strips away humanity. It takes away a human soul, memory, emotion, and it numbs the human's body. There are no thoughts, no interests, no will to stay awake or asleep. There's no sense of time. Sometimes a second will feel like an eternity, and other times I can almost see the hour hand move. Okay. Either way, there's no emotion involved. I can't feel any emotion. The medicine only lets me stay in bed and look up at the ceiling. Only the people who have taken it can fully understand this misery. What's more scary is that while I'm on the medication, I don't realize how scary it is. I'm given the medication daily, and I keep losing all my senses. So when the medicine wore off by accident, I realized I should never take it again. So this is Satoko? Huh. Okay. That's right. This isn't medicine that will heal me. It's just going to kill me slowly. If I continued to take this medicine, I probably wouldn't be able to tell if I was dead or alive, and I would end up losing myself forever. I'll keep looking at the ceiling without any emotions and keep watching the clock tick forever. If I take the medicine again, I'll lose all the senses I've finally regained. I may never be able to bring myself back again. Since the day I realized that, I've been pretending to take the medicine, but throwing it away instead. If your doctor prescribes medication, you have to finish taking it, even if your symptoms are gone. I can hear my mother's voice. Anytime I went to the doctor's office when I was a child, my mother said that to me. I usually got well before I finished all the medicine, so I didn't finish taking the rest. That's why my mother said that. But this is a different type of medicine. I don't even remember how old I was when my mother said that. But with this strange capsule in front of me, I have to try and get rid of my mother's voice from inside of my head. I pressed down on my head with my elbows until it hurt, trying to get rid of what my mother kept telling me. Right. As my head clears, I start to remember the ugly side of my mother. My mother betrayed her family. She betrayed me and my father, who waited for her who waited for her at home with dinner on the table. Okay, is this not Satoko? No, I'm a little confused right now. Anyway, she told us she was busy with work, but she was having an affair. That was bad enough, but she asked my father for a divorce after he took such good care of her for so many years. But there's something else I can't forgive her for. She invited only me to meet with her new family. Rena? Wait, is this Rena? Not my father. Just me. Yeah, it is. Huh. Okay. My father and I are family. Family means being together. Yet my mother tried to destroy the bond between my father and me. Not only had she destroyed her bond with him, she tried to destroy my bond with him too. When I remember, it makes me feel angry and hateful, and I can't forgive her. The back of my eye started to hurt, and I could feel the hatred on my face. That overflowing animosity is aimed not only at my mother, but also the man she had an affair with. Yeah, okay. Yep, this is Rena. Okay. That's weird. Just going straight for Rena, huh? Alright. The man she had an affair with. Uncle... How you pronounce this again? Akihito. I didn't like him teasing me, but he gave me an allowance and tried to have fun with me. phrasing, alright. I liked him very much. But his niceness was all calculated. Oh my god. He wanted to destroy the family bonds between my mother, my father, and me. That's why I shouldn't have said I liked him very much. That's right. I'm starting to remember and understand. I now know my true enemy. It was his fault that my mother started to have an affair. Because my mother was a very good mother. He was the one who made her a bad one. You're a bad mommy. What? Okay, that's anyway. So I'm sorry. I'm in a little giggly mood right now, just a little bit. Anyway, so he's the one who deserves the blame. When was the first time I met him? I think it was the time when my mother and I went out and had lunch at a restaurant. She introduced him as one of her colleagues from work. At that time, if I think about that first meeting, I think I felt something wasn't right with the way my mother acted around him. That's right. I did. I did think something was wrong. It didn't feel right. I wish I'd trusted my instincts then. I was a fool to think he was a nice person just because he gave me a strawberry from his piece of cake. It was not my father's fault, because I bet he never met Uncle Akihito. But I have. I've met him many times, and there were a lot of chances to realize he was my enemy. If I had a strong enough will to protect my happiness, I could have noticed that. I can't forget how my father looked on that day. My father, who was so nice and gentle, grabbed his knee so tightly and cried so hard. He asked me if I knew Uncle Akihito. I answered yes. Then he slapped me in the face. When he slapped me, I finally realized how stupid I was for being taken in by him. That's right. It was my fault. I destroyed the happiness I had hoped to last forever with my own hands. If I hadn't been that stupid, my father wouldn't have had to cry like that, and my mother would have stayed good. If I wasn't that stupid, it was my fault. I can't forgive my mother and Uncle Akihito. Even when I hate him this much, I still call him Uncle, and I can't forgive myself for that. It was my fault. Everything was my fault. I was too stupid and foolish, and that's why this happened. I hate her. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I can't stop being angry. If my mother ever came back to this house, I would rip her apart with my own hands. But she never came back. My anger turned towards something that my mother left in the house. I destroyed every relic my mother left behind, one after another. I threw and smashed everything. But that still didn't calm me down. Even after I turned the whole house upside down, I still couldn't calm my anger. Where does my anger gather? It starts from inside of me, goes through my arms, to my fingertips, and spurts to my nails. Where else can it go? So my nails aim at my own body. My body is the filthiest and most disgusting thing of all. I am the one to be blamed. No, I'm not to blame. My mother's most at fault. My mother's the most corrupt. My body and soul feel filthy. I wanted to stain myself black and slice the remaining flesh into pieces. And one day, I finally realized there are tons of maggots in my blood. I am rotten. I am rotten from the inside. Come on, rot more. But It is indescribably itchy. It is itchy, 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 itchy. I've stabbed my thigh with a razor blade in the bathroom. The blood flowed out. Reddish black maggots spilled out. I forced myself to open my blood vessels with my thumbs. The maggots spilled out. Squirm, 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 squirm. So many maggots spilled out from my left thigh. My right thigh must have the same amount of maggots in its blood vessels. Maybe my calves, too, my arms, abdomen, chest. No. How many maggots are there in the blood vessels in my neck? Strangely, although I've become rather insane, there is still a part of me that is calm. If I keep ripping myself apart like this, I'll end up dead. But everything is my fault, and I'm the one to be blamed. Even if I blame my mother, the only way I can disgrace her is with my own body. I get it now. That's the best means of quelling my anger. I feel like I'm thinking incredibly rationally now. In order to forgive myself, I need someone else to blame. It has to be someone else's fault. But no such person exists. No matter how much I think about it, or how I twist the logic, my own body is my own outlet to vent this anger. So long as there's no one else to blame, I'll be forced to rip open every blood vessel in my body. Just like no matter how much I scratch, it still itches. No matter how much I rip apart my own body, it's not enough. The blood is all over the bathroom, and I'm sure it makes for quite the gruesome scene. Although I'm trying to stay calm, I can't ignore the sharp pain that runs through my own body. Maybe because I've lost so much blood, or maybe because I'm naked in the bathroom, I feel freezing cold. My whole body is throbbing, and my heart is beating so fast. I'm cold and hot at the same time. And I'm also sad, angry, and in pain. I want to find something that lets me forgive myself. Then it came. It came in a heavenly light. It was mysterious and unreal, like something out of this world. It apologized. It kept apologizing. Why is it apologizing? You apologize when you're at fault. So this thing I just met for the first time was admitting to wronging me. That means I'm not at fault. It's at fault, not me. I dropped the razor blade. It fell into a puddle of blood. The pain is taking over my body. The pain of ripping apart my own body is taking over me. I've been telling myself this pain is a punishment for what I've done. But I'm not at fault. It is. So I don't need to accept this pain as a punishment. So I don't need to defile my body anymore. She continued apologizing to me over and over as I stood there, covered in fresh blood. Okay, that's actually a little bit confusing because in reality, we learned in previous chapters during this scene where she's clawing at herself to get the maggots out and whatever in the bathroom, we learned that she starts fainting and whatnot. She crashes down onto the floor, and soon after we find that her father finds her, down on the floor. And that white light that we just saw happen was basically him coming into the bathroom, and now he's apologizing, but for some reason she thinks it's something else. Because, blood loss and all that, you're gonna hallucinate or whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it's really the father that's there and apologizing over and over again. Anyway, although I don't know why it's saying she. That's a little weird. Should be he. He continued apologizing to me. But anyway, whatever. Continuing on. She apologized every time I wanted to blame myself, constantly whispering that it wasn't my fault. Oyashiro-sama exists. She is always following me. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, she thinks it's Oyashiro-sama that was... Okay, yeah. Okay, anyway. You know the drill. Okay. Pit-pat. And every time I can't endure the guilt, she apologizes and tells me I am not at fault. Everything is caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Things started to go wrong when I broke the rule that I wasn't supposed to leave Hinamizawa. I finally remember. When I moved from Hinamizawa, one of my neighbors gave me a charm. She said that if I left Hinamizawa, I'd be cursed, so I had to take the charm. That's right, she did give me a charm. It had some complicated writing on it, but I haven't seen it since I moved here. I may have lost it. There is nothing I can do about that. If Hinamizawa residents leave Hinamizawa, they'll be cursed. No mother... Wait, what? What? That's not a no. Oh, shit. I was doing so good, too. Damn. I was on a roll, baby. Anyway, my mother and I, even Uncle Akihito, too, may have gone insane because of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Nobody was at fault from the beginning, because everything is caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Nobody is at fault. Nobody. I am finally able to forgive everything. The anger that I couldn't get rid of, even after I destroyed everything, including my body and soul, is finally gone. Father, now I know. The curse of Oyashiro-sama is what caused my mother to leave, and for you to be so sad. You remember Oyashiro-sama, don't you? The guardian deity of Hinamizawa? That's right. People of Hinamizawa aren't supposed to go out to the outside world. That's why Mother went insane. It's all because of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. If we had stayed in Hinamizawa, we would have been happy. Oyashiro-sama came to me and told me that. Come to think of it, Oyashiro-sama has been trying to tell me that for a long time. After Mother left, I didn't know why she left, or how to express my anger. Oyashiro-sama has kept following me ever since then to let me know that. She followed me everywhere, the sound of her footsteps echoing behind me, but I pretended I didn't notice her. I was so stupid. I didn't hear her voice until I slashed my body all over. If only I had listened to Oyashiro-sama's voice. I bet she started warning me once Uncle Akihito came into my life. If the whole family had gone back to Hinamizawa, my mother wouldn't have had an affair. We would have been happy there. I bet Oyashiro-sama has been trying to tell me that. That's right, she must have been trying to warn me ever since we left Hinamizawa. She was always with me. She followed me everywhere. I was stupid, trying to pretend I didn't notice. Everything was because of that stupidity. If I hadn't noticed Oyashiro-sama's voice, my family wouldn't have suffered from the curse. It's my fault. Oyashiro-sama is apologizing. She keeps apologizing, which means this is all her fault. So this isn't my fault. Is it? Because this is the curse of Oyashiro-sama, right? She's apologizing, saying, I'm sorry. Oyashiro-sama is apologizing repeatedly. So, I'm sorry too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't hear your voice. I'm sorry. We are from Hinamizawa, so we have to keep hearing your voice. Oyashiro-sama definitely exists. Can't you hear, Father? Don't you see? Oyashiro-sama's right there apologizing, saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. Come on, Father, let's apologize too. Mother, you don't have to apologize. You should die because of the occur. Oh my god. Okay, that's a little woohoo. Okay, yeah, you should die because of the curse. Yeah, okay. I hate you, Mother. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate myself for being your daughter. These maggots are your fault. They make me itch everywhere. I'm sorry. No, I don't want that medicine, please. My mother got it to kill me, so I don't want it. I won't take it. I told you I won't take it. Stop. This is the curse, so you can't fix it with medicine. It won't get rid of the maggots because this is a curse. No, I don't want a shot either. Stop. It hurts. Everything is falling into a gray world. The voices of my father and the doctor sound so far away. Even what just happened seems like it happened a long time ago. Again, I'm given the capsule, and even my memory from a minute ago is gone. I'm back in my bed, staring at the ceiling. And what I can see, the only thing that interests me is the hands on the clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I follow the minute hand as it goes around quickly, and the hour hand as it goes around slowly. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry. Oyashiro-sama keeps apologizing. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I'm sorry. Repeating over and over, constantly and nothing else. The chorus of Higurashi coming in through the window during the night seems louder than usual. Oh my god, they said the thing! Higurashi! That was good. That was a good chapter. I mean, not chapter, fragment. Oh, shit. See? Got me all cooked up. Alright. That was good. Seriously, though. I hope you all liked my moments where I really got into it. I screwed up sometimes. Sorry about that. Anyway. That was a long frickin' fragment, though. It's been a while since we had a long one. That was 25 minutes, basically. Huh. Okay, anyway, next up is Disappointment. What page would that be on? Not that one. This one. Hello. The death of Koizumi-sensei is required. Well, let's get into it, shall we? Hopefully this is going to be a short one.
今日はこれくらいにしようか。気が乗らないみたいだからね。
Oh, good. Finally, voices, so I don't have to talk repeatedly over and over and over for so long.
そんなことはないのよ。そう見えたならごめんなさいね。
I need breaks, please. Damn it! Takano-san has been looking through the viewfinder, but I haven't seen her push the shutter at all. Oh, look at that expression on her face. She pissed. Okay. Anyway, while she came along, I don't think she's in the mood for bird watching. Obviously. Takano-san has been depressed ever since the announcement of the new policies at the board meeting the other day. That's understandable. The Erie Institute was created by her in the first place. It was created so that she can devote her life to researching Hinamizawa syndrome. For all that to be tossed aside while being asked to wrap up the work within a few years, of course she's depressed. I would not say depressed. I would more categorize it as, I don't know, pissed off? Angry. Oh my god, my throat. What the hell? Anyway. Besides, she can't even fully spend the rest of the time left on research. Their funding was being cut in stages, and by the end, they'll barely be able to finish closing up, let alone research anything. I heard that she's the granddaughter of the late Dr. Takano. Her determination to finish her grandfather's research is what kept her going until today. Since everything has been going so smoothly until recently, this sudden change in the wind's direction must have been a total shock. The shift in people pulling the strings must be pretty serious. The board of directors was completely changed out, and she heard that people and projects influenced by the Koizumi faction were being restructured to set an example. The wind's new direction seems likely to remain for a long time. It's highly unlikely that the Koizumi faction will come back into power, so no matter what we say, it's almost impossible to expect the same kind of support from them.
もう
Oof.
どうにもならないのかしら。
Takano-san muttered. Unfortunately, there isn't. There's nothing nobody can do.
最初理事会では即時研究を中止という話も出たんだ。それをなんとか納得させて数年間で段階的に終了というところまで勝ち取ってくれたんだよ。入江機関発足で僕たちを世話してくれた人たちがね。
なるほど。一見最悪と思えるこの状況も、それでも陰で誰かが勝ち取ったギリギリの成果なのね。
それで勝ち取った期間がせいぜい3年なんだ。僕も一応努力はしたんだよ。高野さんが今日までに作った資料を理事会に説明し、とても重要な研究であることをアピールしたつもりなんだけど。
それでも3年でおしまいなのね。
Maybe Takano-san doesn't understand how hard I tried to convince them. Because what she just said tells me the length of time left really doesn't matter to her. The important thing is that her research is being stopped. The fact is that I couldn't meet her expectations and made her feel disappointed. As a man, it kind of hurts.
僕にできることは、せめて研究が畳まれるまでの数年間、心残りがないよう研究できるだけの予算をつけるための根回しをしてあげることだけだ。ごめん、こんな程度のことしかできなくて。
いいのよ。それが二郎さんにできる精一杯なのなら、それでとても嬉しいもの。
Her words hurt me. I wish she'd chosen different ones, but I think that would be asking too much from someone so heartbroken. I must be understanding of her pain at a time like this. Besides, I know how close she was to the deceased Koizumi-sensei. She even called him uncle. To her, his death is not just the start of a coup, but a change in direction. She lost a person who was always looking after her, no matter how hard she pushed herself to act villainous. She wasn't supposed to be part of this world. She was just an ordinary woman. But she was intrigued by Hinamizawa syndrome, and she had to find help from someone who had more power than her to be able to continue research on it. The dark side of the world she should never have gotten involved in, extended its hands out to her. She was left all by herself in that world, and she's still trying to put on a brave face. I'm sure Takano-san thinks I'm unreliable. Realistically, I'm not the kind of person who can meet her expectations, nor do I have the power to do so. The least I can do for her is stay sincere and remain her ally until the very end. Since she had so much room to act, it's harder for her to determine what actions to take when she's cornered. I wanted to believe she wouldn't, but I'm concerned that she might do something drastic eventually. Well, your concerns are in the right place, obviously, because shit's about to go down. I hope I can be of help to her in that very final moment before she makes her move. from what we saw, you're gonna regret saying that. But I can't even gain enough trust from her to do that. How pitiful and pathetic. Of course, part of it is, as a man, I want her to rely on me. But that's not really it. She's been abandoned in this world and is all alone, so someone has to be her ally. And if I'm the only one who knows about that, then being her ally is my job. I know her too well, so I know that she'll never ask for help. Even if she says it's unnecessary, someone has to be with her. I know that. I don't really think I'm suited for that job. I'm sure that there are many reliable people out there who are more appropriate for the position than me. But I can't let her be alone until that person appears.
高野さん、僕は全然頼りがいもないし、みっともない男かもしれないけど。
何突然。どうしたの次郎さん。
それでも頼ってもらえたらきっと力になれることもあると思うんだ。だから。
ありがとう。でも私、喋るだけでも心が軽くなるっていうのをあまり信じてないの。ごめんなさいね。気にしてもらえるだけでもとても嬉しいわよ。
そうかい。ならいいんだ。僕はずっと味方だから、それだけは信じていてほしいな。
もちろん信じてるわ。理事会をうまく説得できる方法があったらぜひ教えてね。
僕なりにも努力してみるよ。
Why is it? I know she's such a strong person and there's nothing someone like me can do for her. But somehow, I feel she needs help and support right now. She looks as tough as ever, but only I, who has been taking pictures of her all this time, can tell. A viewfinder, after all, is also a window to look into someone's heart. But if I say something like that, she'll tease me again, so I won't. Anyway, I never thought she needed support more strongly than I do right now. Alright, that was a short one. Next up, Deja Vu.
やあ、中川君。
Oh god.
ずいぶんの久方ぶりになるね。
Let's hope this is a short one.
先はやってるのかい？あれ。
いえいえ、もうさっぱりです。年は取りたくないもんですな。
クレイやるときは集中してやらないとダメだよ。あんまり間を空けすぎると勘が鈍っちゃって意味ない意味ない。
先生、ご紹介します。高野さんさです。
はじめまして。本日はお忙しい中、お時間をお割きくださいましてありがとうございます。
ああ、別に君のために時間を割いたわけじゃない。うまい生ウニが食わせてもらえるって話でね。ウニはいいんだよ君。ビタミン A が豊富でね、お肌に特にいいんだとか。女性は大好きでしょ、ウニ。
It is true that sea urchins are rich in vitamin A, but compared to spinach, it's not everything. Not everything. Anything that's worth making a fuss about. Well, none of that matters right now, anyway. He just seemed like an unpleasant man, so I wanted to criticize him. Weirdly enough, same here. These men are the directors of the Alphabet Project who control the funding for the Erie Institute. They are also people who are in the position of being able to offer their opinions to those directors. To put it in a simpler way, they are the new owners of the Erie Institute. Although not as much as Uncle Kayozumi was, they are also leaders and influencers in various fields. I have to be very careful not to upset them. And therefore, there's no way I would have had the ability to call them in. By using the influence that the Kayozumi faction once had, I finally managed to get this chance. Uncle Kayozumi, who gave me his full support and made everything go my way, is not here anymore. I'm on my own from this point on, and I will open up a path. But this stage doesn't belong to me today. I can't let the people who offered me this chance lose face, so I have to wait patiently until it's my turn. My primary objective today is to explain what a prominent research subject the Hinamizawa Syndrome is, and acquire an indefinite extension on our research. They only ever think about money, so they aren't even realizing the hidden potential of Hinamizawa Syndrome. They don't recognize that it's worth spending a lot of money on. This is not mere research on the existence of the unknown parasite, but something that may overthrow the basic foundations of anthropology. A Nobel Prize wouldn't even be enough. It won't be easy trying to explain all that to men who know nothing about any of it, but I have to. That's why I spent many hours making these straightforward support documents. Sometimes we make documents confusing on purpose because we don't like dealing with uneducated people, but this time it's different. I can't look down at them. I must sincerely try to make them understand. The accessible support documents are there in a huge pile. It feels like we're wasting time eating traditional Japanese food in such a relaxed mood. I want to get to the point and explain to them in detail so they can understand. But there is the saying, luck lies in the last helping. I have to be patient right now.
正直ね、これまでのアルファベットはあまり良くないと思うのです。結局こいつは未だ頭の中が時代遅れの年寄りどものね、お砂場みたいなもんだったんですな。
年寄りどもが自分のじゃない金で過去の栄光を取り戻す夢を描くお砂場です。そんな年寄りどもの妄想のために一体どれだけの公金が垂れ流されたやら。
聞いた話じゃ、奥野先生あたりが検察をつっついて旧理事会を横領で追わせてるらしいですな。
年寄りたちをよいしょしてうまい汁を吸っていた連中の末路ですな。もっとも表沙汰にはできんでしょうから、別件で隕石左遷といった形になるんでしょうが、いやはや、これも戦前の亡霊をずっと野放しにしていた日本のツケですな。いやー、この野球にの汁もたまらない。
これは手厳しい。そんな中で先生にこんなお願いをするのは非常になんですが、一つお時間を頂戴できればと思いまして。
入江機関さんでしたっけ？確か長野だか岐阜の方で風土病の研究をされてるんでしたな。どういうことになってましたっけ？
理事会の決定で軍事転用研究が中止に。あと研究そのものも3年以内に段階的終了に決定しています。いえ、これは継続協議中でした。まあそのいずれにしましても数年以内に閉鎖になる予定です。
思い出した。入江機関さんは旧理事会でも評判が悪かったみたいですな。何しろ莫大な予算をほとんど無審査で吸い取ってましたからね。
某大先生がどういうわけか、このプロジェクトをやたら後押しされてたみたいでしてね。その絡みもあって結局誰も文句が言えずに放置されてきたってのが実際のようです。
まあでもな、 もう大先生は女癖が悪かったから、それもあったのかもしれませんな。
Is he implying that I slept with Uncle Kaiozumi? He's insulting both of us. But I held my anger in. I can't let myself be bothered by something like this.
それで本日は当機関の研究内容について説明させていただき、当機関に対する理事会の決定についてどうかご再考をお願いしたいと思いまして、お時間を頂戴させていただきました。本日はこのような場へご多忙な中お越しいただきましたことを深く御礼申し上げます。
ま、ただでウニが出てくるわけはないってことですな。
I explained to them how much the Hinamizawa syndrome mattered while being very careful not to go too fast. I tried to let them know that the syndrome's potential is not limited to small things like military applications, but is much more meaningful than that. It may explain ideology and religion. It may even shake the very definition of a human being. I took my time to explain as slowly and clearly as possible. I'm not confident that all of it had gotten through to those boorish men, but I'm happy if they understood even just a part of it. As long as they understand how much of a magnificent discovery Hinamizawa syndrome really is.
ありがとう、サンサ。なるほど。
ちょっと検討したいので、サンサには一度下がってもらってよろしいですかな。
はい。それでは失礼させていただきます。
Obviously, they can't discuss in front of me. I left all the documents with them. All I could do now was hope they viewed them favorably. I left the room and closed the sliding door. The room next door is a preparation room, so I was headed there. But I stopped. I shouldn't have done it, but I tried to listen in through the sliding door.
こりゃなんと言いますか。全理事の皆さんも気の毒としか言いようがありませんな。
いやー小泉先生がですね、非常に強く押されていまして。
小泉先生にはローベル製薬日本法人の初代顧問に就任された時に一度お会いし、とても聡明な方だなという印象を強く持っていたのですが、
人間年には勝てないということですな。何事も引き際が肝心だと思い知らされますよ。
ただですね、ひなみ沢症候群という非常に珍しい病気があるのは事実でございまして、決して全てが全て妄想というわけではありませんでして。
入江機関はすでに病気の解明と治療薬の開発に成功しているというじゃありませんか。それで十分ですよ。
現代日本にとって周辺諸国を過敏にさせる件については厳に慎むべきです。中でも軍事分野は最も敏感と言えるでしょう。少なくとも数年間にわたり軍事目的の研究がされていた事実は直ちに抹消しなくてはなりません。
それは軍事研究の中止とは別に。
そうです。ひなみ沢症候群は生物兵器開発のための研究という事実は直ちに研究を中止したとしても残ります。ひなみ沢症候群を目的は何であれ研究した事実は厳重に隠蔽されなければなりません。できればひなみ沢症候群そのものがなくなってしまうのが好ましい
ですな。病気が残ればやがては関心を持つ者が現れ、せっかく埋めた穴をわざわざ掘り返す輩が現れないとも限りません。理事会の決定通り、入江機関は病気を撲滅させ次第、研究の痕跡を全て消した上で解散させるのがいいでしょ
う。やはりそういう結論に行き着きますな。ノーベル賞が取れるかどうかが問題ではなく、 戦後日本にとって無用な研究だということです。そもそも大昔から存在し、特に異常もなくやってこれたわけでしょ。やぶをつっつく研究なのではと当初から思っていました。
同感ですな。ひなみ沢症候群という病気の存在自体は疑わないが、この高野という第一発見者は少々この病気を脚色しすぎですな。私も資料を読みながらユニークな発想をする人だなぁと思っておりました。第一、寄生虫で人の思想が染まるなんて聞いたことがない。そりゃいくらなんでもひどすぎる。
You can go ahead and read that. Pause and read if you want to. Oh, more lines. That's great.
動物の脳に寄生する寄生虫がいるなら、たまには人間の脳に寄生する寄生虫がいてもいいとは思う。しかし、その寄生虫が思想や人格までもコントロールする可能性なんてのはさすがにこりゃちょっとユニークすぎます。
You laugh now, but in 100 years. You never know, bitch. You never know. Oh, Lord. It's true. You never know. In 100 years, there could be a new parasite that's been developed and just ravages and starts fucking with us. You never know. It could be like The Last of Us all over again. Fungi-related shit. Anyway, what? As I peeked in through the gap in the sliding door, I became trapped within an unbelievable sense of deja vu. This is my first time experiencing this, but it doesn't feel that way. I don't know why, but the memory is so sad and so painful. Huh? Huh? Why? Tears. Before I realized it, I saw a very nostalgic, carpeted room on the other side of the sliding door, instead of a room covered in tatami mats. Oh, she's remembering the incident with the Dr. Takano guy when at the very beginning of the chapter, in that conference at his house, and she was serving tea and whatnot, and then they trampled and stepped on all over his papers, and she went ballistic. Anyway, yeah. Oh, shit. The room is filled with a smell of dust mixed with the smell of some evaporated medicine, but it's very soothing to me just the same. Yep, here we go. And there's my grandfather. His article that he poured his heart into was made a mockery of, yet he wasn't even allowed to cry. This isn't a delusion, because within the documents I left with those men, there are a lot of references to the article my grandfather wrote. So I'm not surprised that my grandfather to be standing right there, explaining it to them himself. Together with my tears from seeing the sight of my beloved grandfather, I watched these men insult and belittle his masterpiece. I have seen this sight before, and the sight should have ended there, but why is it repeating before my eyes? I can only blankly peek through the sliding door at the strange world, where reality and illusion overlap.
あのサンサもちょいとおかしいし、こんな世まいごとを信じた小泉先生もおかしいが、やはりこの第一発見者の論文が一番おかしいですな。
Oh shit.
期待と妄想が入り混じっていて、これは論文というより創作の次元ですな。というか、これはこのままどこかの出版社に持ち込んで本にした方がウケると思いますよ。
確かに確かに。
They're making a mockery.
私の友人に出版社の社長をやってるのがいてね。 きっと面白がって読んでくれると思いますよ。
笑い事ではありませんぞ、皆様方。このとんでもない研究がまかり通って巨額の予算が数年間にもわたって投じられていたのですからな。特にひどいのは、万一の場合に備えて相当危険な機材を用意しているという点です。これは絶対に国民に知られてはならないことです。
計画が存在しただけでも恐ろしいのに、終末作戦なんて緊急措置の存在を知られてしまったら、国外は愚か国内世論も敵に回すことになるだろうね。しかもその機材の維持費がすごいことになってるじゃないか。
そんなの本当に維持費にしてるわけないじゃないですか。そういう名目にしてトンネルしてる架空プロジェクトでしょ、どうせ。
大体何でしたっけ。少女が一人死ぬだけで村人が1000人以上行動を起こす病気なんて、あなたどこの漫画の話ですか。
What kind of comic book is this bullshit? Oh, shit.
まったくまったく。こんな子供騙しを鵜呑みにして巨額の予算を垂れ流すとはつくづくいかんと思いますな。こんな資料を真に受ける連中がいるというんだから、実にバカバカしいことです。
As he said that, he placed the documents down with an exaggerated gesture. Actually, I should say he slammed them down, because the papers ended up scattered all over the floor.
ですよな。あ、ちょいと失礼。お手洗いに。
One of the men stood up and stepped on the papers, and they weren't the papers on the tatami mats, but the ones on the carpet. Right there, I can see my grandfather filled with heart-rending sadness. Yet, he can't let it show on his face. Grandfather's expression didn't change, yet it seemed distorted to me. I could see the walls of my grandfather's study crumpling and twisting behind him. I jumped into the room. I grabbed onto the man's legs. I don't hate him. No, it's not whether I hate him or not. Sure, I hate him, but that's not it. I just can't forgive the feet stepping on my grandfather's article.
踏まないでおじいちゃんが頑張って書いたんだから、足で踏んだりしないで。
あ、失礼。
Those feet are still stepping on papers. I tried to make them move, but they won't even budge, as though they've grown roots. So I begged as I grabbed onto his legs. I tried to pull the papers from under his feet, but I can't move his feet. I can't pull out the papers.
踏まないでおじいちゃんの踏まないで。
My sobbing echoed in that silent room, just like it did back then. Is that it? Yeah, it is. Okay. That, oof. Oofa. The big oof. Oofa, my lord. Oofa. Okay, the music can... Yeah, there we go. Okay. The music can kindly end there, please. Thank you. Alright. Next up. Nope. Somewhere here. I believe it's this one. Satoshi Hojo's awareness of his sins is required. The mysterious death of the fruity couple is required. Okay, cool. Let's do it. We're storming through, baby! School's the children's world. The values of grown-ups don't apply. Children decide their own values and create their own world. So the rules of the grown-up world in the village don't mean anything here. Even when the villagers badmouth the Hojo family and try to isolate them, that has no meaning at our school. In the children's world, the children decide the rules. Rules they think are irrational don't exist here. That's why. As the representative of the children here, I vow that I will never let any irrational rules come into our world. Within the school, no harassment is allowed towards the Hojo siblings. In the very beginning, some boys teased Satoko, but they were punished severely and it hasn't happened ever since. That's the least I can do to resist the madness of the village. So I hope Satoshi and Satoko both feel that the school is a safe place for them. Satoshi must notice my concern. I don't know why. Must? He must obey me! Okay, anyway, what? Because he often smiles when he's here. However, I never see Satoko smile. Satoko's classmates used to try to cheer her up, but soon after they decided that it was best to just leave her alone. I used to try to talk to her, but when I realized something, I stopped doing that. What's that something? I'm a member of the Sonozaki family. Ah. To Satoko, I'm one of her enemies, so I'm sure she feels uncomfortable to have me around her. All I can do is to watch over her. That's why Satoko is alone in the classroom. That said, Rika-chan is always hanging around with her, even though Satoko told her she was annoying. Satoshi, too, is always beside her. These two are the only ones who remain by her side. It isn't limited to Satoko, of course. The malicious isolation is still continuing towards the Hojo family, because their hysterical aunt is so hostile towards her neighbors. There's nobody who sympathizes with her. It's wise to know there are fights worth picking, and also fights better set aside. If the aunt had even a little tolerance or self-control, this isolation wouldn't have continued. Of course, the villagers were the ones who forced them into that role, even though they weren't related to the issue. But if she had stayed quiet, then it wouldn't have gone so far. The aunt's hostility is one thing, but she's dragging everyone in the family into it as well. The uncle and the aunt haven't been getting along, and he hardly comes home. Both Satoshi and Satoko are forced to live in shame. The aunt vents her stress by harassing Satoko. This was the same too. The aunt is her guardian after all, but Satoko doesn't even try to hide her disgust, so things aren't going smoothly between them. If she had behaved like Satoshi, then she wouldn't have been made into a target. So does that mean the sad life Satoko is living right now is something she caused herself? No, it doesn't. But no matter how much I sympathize and how much I want to help her, nobody knows what to do. An apology won't change the situation. The flow can't be reversed. The fact that the Hojo family is orchestrated by the entire village can't be changed. That's the horribleness lurking underneath our lives. The neighbors, the village, and the community. Once they become your enemies, the world can become so cruel. Japanese people have known that since the ancient times, which is why we cultivated empathy and an obligation to show courtesy to one's neighbors. No matter who I blame, Satoko won't smile. So the only thing I can do is to watch over her and make sure that she's safe, even when she's at school.
ありがとう、ミオ。え？ごめん、何？貞子にいつも気を使ってくれてありがとうって。
No. Satoshi kind of appears absent-minded, but sometimes he says things as if he can read your thoughts. I tried to deny it, since it's out of character for me, but he smiled as if he could tell exactly what I was thinking.
貞子は笑顔の浮かび方を忘れてしまっただけなんだよ。学校にいるときは本当に少しだけ
肩の力を抜ける時間を得られてる。それはきっと聡子にとってとても優しい時間になってるって思ってるよ。
おじさんが気を使えるのはせいぜいこの程度だしね。
そんなことないよ。僕も感謝してるよ。
よしてよ。感謝されることなんかないって。迷惑かけてるのは多分うちなんだしさ。
そんなこと思ってないよ、全然。
I'm not good at reading people's subtle cues, but I know for sure what he just said is a lie. Satoshi knows that he and his family are being isolated because of the Sonozakis, and he is of course aware that I am a member of the Sonozaki family too. Satoshi is mature, and that's the only reason he doesn't take it out on me. If he had the same temper as his aunt, he would hate me bitterly. Knowing that, the least I can do is not to get close to them. But I'm a meddlesome person. Yeah. And when I see Satoko looking depressed or Satoshi forcing himself to smile, I have to do something. That might be even more troublesome to Satoshi and Satoko, though.
私、聡子の気持ちを全然理解してないのかな。
どうして？
聡子が辛い思いをしてる一番の原因は、うちにそこの娘の私が聡子の周りをうろちょろすることは空気の読めてないことなのかなって。
そんなことはないよ。ミオンはそれくらいがちょうどいいと思うけどな。
何よそれ。私は無神経な方がぴったりだって言うの？
そういう意味じゃないよ。その空気というのが聡子から笑顔を奪っているのなら、そんな空気なんか全然気にしない人じゃなきゃ聡子に笑顔は戻せないって思ってるから。
うまいこと言ってるけど、さりげなくおじさんのことバカにしてるでしょ。ひどいな。
バカにしてなんかいないよ。助けてほしいだけなんだよ。僕一人の力じゃ聡子に笑顔は戻せない。ミオンみたいな力強い人の助けがいるんだよ。
でも私園崎家のミオンだよ。
So?
私なんかが無神経なことやったらかえって聡子を傷つけるかも。
その空気が聡子を一人ぼっちにしているのに、だからミオンも聡子を一人ぼっちにするのかい？
Hell no! Don't you do it! This is the first time Satoshi has asked me for something so aggressively. Satoko is a very important person to him. He's saying he needs my help to make her smile again. But still, no. Maybe he's right. What's going on between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family is an issue among the grown-ups. We children don't need to care about that. The irrational rules of the grown-ups don't mean anything in our world. So I have to object to the irrationality of the grown-ups world using methods of my own.
聡子は本当に私のこと迷惑に思わないかな。
初めは少しは思うかもしれない。でも僕も一緒だから。ミオンと一緒だから。すぐに打ち解けるよ。
そうかな。今日学校が終わったら聡子を遊びに誘ってみる？
家に帰るとおばさんにいろいろ言われて表に出られなくなってしまうかもしれない。
なら簡単だね。家に帰らずに遊べばいいんだ。
でも帰りがあまりにも遅くなると何の道草を食っていたんだと。
Just tell her you were robbing people or something. I don't care. Oh, shit.
ならさ、あれだ。部活動に加わったっていうのはどう？
Oh my god, a club?
部活？
うん。部活ってことにして、学校で遊んでから帰ればいいじゃん。 だって学校から帰らないでそのまま遊んでる男の子だって全然問題ない
Sorry.
よ。
Shit. Pause and read if you want to. Sorry about that. Slip of the finger. Anyway, and okay.
でも服を汚すとまたおばさんに。
ふふん。ならさ、アウトドアじゃなくてインドア中心にすればいいわけよ。それなら服も汚れないしね。
インドアってことは教室？でもあんまり暴れると千恵先生に。
インドアで暴れずに。だけれども熱く遊ぶことは可能なんだよ。おじさん、こう見えてもゲームが大好きでね。海外ものの貴重なものとか結構集めてたりするのさ。マニュアルが英語だったり難しかったりで対戦してくれる相手がいなくて死蔵しちゃってるのが多いんだけどね。
それ聡子にも遊べるかな？
もちろんルールなんてね、わかんなかったらその場で作っちゃえばいいんだよ。全員が同じルールに従う以上、どんなルールだったって公平なんだからね。
I said it so confidently, but would bringing games from home and asking Satoko to play with us actually make her smile again? What have I got to lose? Maybe I'll bring one of the board games tomorrow.
あとさ、ミオン、相談があるんだけど。
何？おじさんで乗れる相談なら何でも聞いてよ。
僕、アルバイトを探してるんだ。聡子を元気づけるのに、誕生日に素敵なプレゼントをしたら喜ぶかなって思って。
Okay. That was a weird way to end that fragment, but I can understand why, because I remember what happens in one of the chapters concerning this. Yep, Baroon. Well, that was certainly something.
そうですか。いえいえ、届けなんていりません。サトシ君は我がひなみ沢ファイターズの頼もしい選手なんですからね。席はちゃんと開けてあります。いつでも戻ってきていいんですからね。
わかりません。当分は戻ってこれないと思うので、一度退部にしてもらった方がいいと思いまして。
Satoshi-kun says he wants to quit the Hinamizawa fighters. I know very well of Satoshi-kun and Satoko-chan's situation, so I was expecting that he might say this. The relationship between Satoko-chan and her aunt has gotten worse, to the point that it can be considered abuse. When someone from the Child Consultation Center came, of course her aunt behaved herself. Then immediately after, her harassment turned even more vicious. According to the neighbors, the aunt's scolding and Satoko-chan's crying can be heard nightly, and sometimes it goes on past midnight. Okay, and the child consultation centers don't go to the neighbors asking questions, such as, have you heard anything? Oh my god. I guess they ask questions like that nowadays, but back in the 80s, I guess they didn't. It's baffling. Anyway. Satoko-chan's weekly physical checkup results are slowly growing worse, and we are trying to keep her stable by increasing her medication. But, unless her relationship with her aunt improves, well, she's sure to go terminal and sink into madness. Madness! Woo! Anyway, sorry. Although she isn't the type to become deranged, even at the terminal stage. She's the type who holds everything in, harboring her insanity inside. Just like she pushed her parents off the cliff 2 years ago, Satoko-chan may kill her aunt. thanks to the mountain dogs, the incident was resolved as an accident, and Oishi stepped aside, although he is still suspicious. Of course. If something like that happens again around Satoko-chan, he's sure to investigate her maliciously. Did I say that right? Mercilessly, sorry. Anyway, I can't do anything more about Satoko-chan's environment changing for worse. So I'm not surprised to hear that Satoshi-kun wants to quit the baseball team so he can be with his sister more.
実は僕、アルバイトを始めるんです。それで、あまり野球に出られなくて。
アルバイトですか。何か買いたいものでもあるんですか？
はい。もうすぐ、サトコの誕生日なんです。サトコが欲しがっているぬいぐるみがあるので、それをプレゼントしてやりたいと思いまして。
That's right. I remember the birth date on her insurance card. I think it's June 24th. Right after the Watanagashi festival.
そうですか。
サ
トシ君は本当に妹思いのお兄さんですね。それはきっとサトコちゃんも喜んでくれるでしょう。
喜んでくれると嬉しいです。
I can tell Satoshi-kun is also stressed out. To him, seeing Satoko-chan being harassed in the same thing as being harassed himself. His stress can be released through moderate exercise, such as with sports, and also with plenty of rest. If Satoko-chan is being yelled at nightly, then it's easy to figure out that Satoshi-kun isn't getting enough sleep either. I don't know what kind of job he's starting, but I don't think he will be able to vent his stress on it. In fact, I don't think the idea of Satoshi-kun taking a part-time job, because he's already so worn out, in every way. I think I fucked up that. I don't like the idea. Yeah, so worn out in everywhere. Did I fuck that up? I don't think I did. It's just a wording and how it's. Okay, whatever. I asked him if he wanted to help. If he wanted me to help him pay for the present. But of course, he declined the offer. It's a present from him, so he wants to earn the money himself. He's taking this part-time job only to earn enough money to buy Satoko-chan's present, so it'll be a temporary thing. If it's for a short period of time, maybe it won't be that bad. While I want to stop him from working because I don't want him to get any more stressed. Since he says Satoko-chan's birthday is near, I don't think I can stop him. Satoshi-kun is determined. If I say any more, I may lose his trust. So I'll have to accept his leave of absence.
そうだ、監督。
Yes.
バットを一本借りていってもいいですか?
Ah, here we go. It's the start of the killing spree. Anyway, what? I completely misunderstood his words. Later I found out he carried around the bat to protect himself. And realized that, even then, he was already showing some dangerous symptoms. He believed there would be a fourth mysterious death this year, and that he would be the victim. He became obsessed with the idea that someone was after his life. Not true. But, sure. That is the symptom of Hinamizawa syndrome's terminal stage. But although I was involved so deeply with the syndrome, I was careless.
バットですか? はて、何に使うんですか?
How could you be so careless if you're so deep involved in the syndrome, which he's kind of displaying right now, but not entirely. Anyway, Satoshi-kun had his own bat, so he should have asked if he could just take it home, but instead he asked if he could borrow it. When I think about it now, he said it that way to lighten his guilty conscience. But how could I have known then?
いえ、その。
Very true.
野球には そんなに来れなくなりますけど、でもきっと一人で素振りの練習をするくらいの時間は取れると思うので。
Right, right.
それはいいですね。そういうことならぜひ持って行ってください。素振りをするときは十分周りを確認して危険がないよう注意してからやってくださいね。
Nah, I figured I'd do it in the fucking closet or in a hallway. Yeah, sure, thanks for the fucking advice!
ご近所迷惑でなければタイヤを吊るしてそれを打つのもいい練習になるでしょう。
Hanging tires are too big of a target. Kind of bad. Nah. Anyway, swinging a bat can really stress, so letting him take his bat home will help. That's what I thought. But that was a huge mistake. I realized it only when things were already past the point of no return. Well, sucks to be you. Alright, that was actually that was a pretty short one. Alright. I love the short ones because they are quick. So next up, I guess we go to the next page. And we go here. A red capsule is required. Oh, again, I loved reading that, especially the way I did it. I hope you all enjoyed that. Anyway. Are we gonna get a continuation? I don't know. Sorry, Rena, what?
はいはいはい。あらら、こんにちは。
Yes, good afternoons.
あれ、どちら様？
あ、どうも。私、お隣に引っ越してきました、リュウグウと申します。引っ越しのご挨拶にお伺いしました。どうかよろしくお願いします。
あららら。こんな田舎の村にこんな若い子が引っ越してきちゃったのかい。そうかいそうかい、よく来たね。お母ちゃん、お隣さん、引っ越しのご挨拶来られたわよ。
でっけえ声出さんでも聞こえてんな。
It just said housewife. Mother? Are you married and living with your fucking mother? What the hell? Is that normal in Japan? To live with your parents even though you're married? Huh. I don't know if that is normal. Seems a little weird, but obviously I'm not Japanese. Anyway.
したらわざわざ丁寧に挨拶すまなしゃろな。
Well, it could be that she's taking care of her. Yeah, true. Okay. Never mind.
リュウグウさんだって、お隣の空き家に引っ越されてきたって。
No offense anyway. Sorry. Anyway.
あんたレナちゃんかいな。大きゅうなって。
Yes, I used to live here before.
はい、レイナです。
Although I go by Rena now. No, Lena. Rena.
覚えててくれてたんですか？
No house? No?
なんねお母ちゃん知ってんのかい？
知ってるもなんと。ああ、お前沖宮に住んどったから知らんか。
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
ずいぶん前に住んでたお隣さんね。そうかいそうかい。戻ってきたんかい。
Remember, folks, take care of your elders.
やっぱり都会よか。村の方が落ち着くんねえな。
Give and take. Living out in a village has its perks, like, you know, being a little bit more quiet and less polluted.
住んでたのは小さい頃なんで、あまりよくは覚えていないんですけど。
But a big flaw is that, well, you don't really have anything to do out in the boons, you know what I'm saying?
でも、ここが私の帰ってくるところだったんだなって、とても懐かしくなります。
なら馴染むのは早いね。なんかお手伝いできることがあったらいつでも言ってね。遠慮はしないのがここのルールだから。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Oh, that was lovely, darling, lovely. I thought I'd remember things if I walked around the village, but I still don't remember much. I do recall, however, the vivid breeze, as well as the brilliant greenery. Oh, yes. Look how greenery it is, all the trees and all the grass. Fuck. I don't remember the village, but I remember that this is my hometown. Red scars will remain on my body. They are hardly visible, and I can't even feel them. I'm sure they'll disappear soon. Now that I'm back in Hinamizawa, sometimes I wonder who I was back in Ibaraki. In fact, I think I wasn't myself for the moment I left. And now, by coming back here, I've finally regained my true self. I can hardly remember what I was like back in Ibaraki. Well, that's probably because of the red medicine. The medicine erased all of my painful memories. Maybe that was for the best. I just wanted to be forgiven back then. I couldn't forgive my mother. I couldn't forgive Uncle Akihito. And more than anybody, I couldn't forgive myself. I wanted someone to acknowledge that I wasn't at fault. I wanted to be forgiven. So Oyashiro-sama apologized. She told me I wasn't at fault because it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. That's how I was able to forgive myself. Excuse me. I didn't have to die by tearing my blood vessels out of my body. Disgusting. I think people have to die because they become corrupted. That's why people try their hardest not to dirty themselves all their lives. But I'm still living, despite how dirty I am. I've been allowed to live. Is there still some filth left on me? Or am I all clean? I don't know. The only thing I know is that the me who lived in Ibaraki and the me who is here right now are two different people. I no longer feel the need to take responsibility by ripping myself apart, because of the filth. Ooh, nighttime. After arranging some furniture and unpacking some boxes, we finally had dinner. Although I hardly remember Hinamizawa, my father remembers things very clearly.
お父さんたちが南沢に住んでた頃にもあったんだけど、今は綿流しという行事がとても大きなお祭りになってるらしい。6月の終わり頃にあるらしいね。
綿流し？
お父さんも見たことないんでわからないんだけど、体についた汚れを綿に吸い取らせて沢に流す行事らしい。
Absorb the filth.
汚れって流してしまえるものなんだね。
そりゃそうだ。人間は罪深い生き物だからね。生きてるだけで日々汚れが我が身に降り積もっていくものなんだそうだ。それを年に1回、体をお掃除するように綿に吸い取ってもらって捨ててしまおうということらしいよ。
People become burdened with filth and sin by doing something bad. Court sentences can settle your crimes legally, but that doesn't mean the burden of sin, of the filth, will just go away. In other words, human hands can't erase human filth in this human world. The filth is something humans can't get rid of, and that's why we need a god from a different world to do that. That's what I thought. But I'm surprised to learn about Watanagashi. Human hands are raising human filth in the human world, letting the cotton absorb the filth and drifting it down the stream. That means it's okay to live in this world. I tried to commit suicide because I couldn't forgive myself. Oyashiro-sama apologized to me and told me to come back to Hinamizawa. And now, here in Hinamizawa, there's this Watanagashi, a ceremony to get rid of filth. This isn't just a coincidence. Well, funny thing here. Anyway. Hinamizawa is a place to wash away your filth. It forgives sins. It is a place of forgiveness.
そういうのをな、みそぎって言うんだ。
あ、言葉だけは聞いたことあるかな。
日本文化というものは、汚れというものにものすごく厳格だろ。汚れを残したまま表舞台にとどまることを許さない。ほら、政治家や社長で汚職があるとすぐに辞職するのもそういうことだ。汚れた人は表舞台を去らなければならない。悪く言うと、汚れを誰か一人に押し付けて隕石させるわけだな。
I'm just realizing this right now because of my stupid ass brain. But thinking about it, she reached the terminal stage of the syndrome, but got back by herself to a lower stage. And she didn't need medication. Wait, no, that could be. No, that's not the red capsule, though. No, it's not. No. Because the medicine is not in the form of a capsule yet, I believe. It's still in a liquid state, right? Right. Okay, so the red capsule was just to, like, basically numb her out, you know? Anyway, my point is that she basically got out of the terminal stage by herself. Kind of. It was left dormant. Right? Anyway, sorry, what? Sins and filth must be removed. Removed? Oh my god. That's why people push them onto someone else, and then try to get rid of the filth by sacrificing that person. But if that's the case, every time that filth is created, people will try to pass around responsibility for it. That's awfully hideous. It's almost like seeing demons in the human world. That's why they came up with the idea of letting the cotton absorb all the filth. By doing so, people can live without making someone else take on all the responsibility, the sins and the filth. Putting everyone's sins onto someone and then killing that person makes that person a sacrifice. Who wants to be a sacrifice? That's why they desperately push their sins around. A purification ceremony is about replacing the human sacrifice with a non-human one. The purification ceremony drastically changed Japanese culture. Before then, people always believed someone had to become a sacrifice. Damn! History be dark, y'all. In other words, even with filth, everyone can live without blaming someone else. Filth can be forgiven by a method other than death. Only an existence higher than humans can forgive them. I was forgiven by Oyashiro-sama and came back to this place, to Watanagashi, the purification ceremony that exists here. Letting cotton absorb the filth and drifting it away. There's no need for sacrifice. That's why I've been allowed to live. The filthy me has drifted away, so the me that remains is no longer Reina, Ryugu. If I'm not Reina, then who am I? If I'm without filth, without all the icky things, who am I? A name vaguely appears in my head. My new name, that only removes one of the letters from Reina, but I think it's a cute name. All the I and icky things are erased and forgiven with the removal of that one letter. So my name is no longer Reina. My name is Rena Ryugu. Oh my god, so cute! Not really, though. If you think about it. Okay, enough of that. Cutesy weird shit. Thank you very much. Next up on the list of the bullshit we gotta do. Death of Satoshi's aunt. We need a bat. We need it. We were prepared to respond quickly this year. That was why we were able to start the investigation immediately by securing the crime scene. The victim is the wife of the younger brother of the Hojo couple, so she's an extremely suitable target for the 4th year's curse of Oyashiro-sama. She has a horrible reputation among the locals. After the incident, everyone said she deserved to be cursed. I have a general idea of who the culprit must be. It's probably Satoshi Hojo. That innocent-looking kid. There's even a motive. The deceased abused his sister... Wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay. I thought I read that wrong, but I didn't. Okay, sorry. The deceased abused his sister relentlessly. So this would be in revenge for that. Revenge! Woo! Also, when he attended the inspection of the crime scene, he was rather frantic, yet also far too composed, as if he was totally unrelated to the incident. My intuition from many years of police work tells me that 8 or 9 times out of 10, someone who acts like that is the perp. I have no concrete proof, but if I question him and shake him up a bit, I have a feeling he will confess.
これだけ仏をめった打ちにしていれば、星も返り血を少なからず浴びたものと思います。
Remember, folks, when they say shake him up a bit, they actually fucking shake. Tell me your secrets! What? Anyway, what?
そいつが見つけられれば決め手になりそうですね。
まあ、よっぽどの間抜けでなけりゃ処分してるでしょうがね。
Fucking shake him. Tell me your sins! Okay, anyway.
犯行を認めた後に捨てたと称する場所から発見できれば、検察も納得してくれるでしょう。
Whoops, I thought he was done. I'm sorry. Pause and read. Okay. A confession from Satoshi Hojo would end it. Everyone except me must believe that. But if I look at it as a part of the series of mysterious deaths, it won't be so easy. Either the 3 families of the village, or the Sonosaki family alone, is directly involved in this. If they are the ones pulling the strings, they must have instigated Satoshi Hojo into committing this crime. If so, Satoshi Hojo is someone who knows way too much about them. The Sonosaki family's actions must remain hidden. If he could connect them to the crime, would they let him run around freely? Satoshi Hojo is a loving brother who cares very much for his sister, and they set him up to kill his aunt as a 4th year's curse. After that, they will eliminate the one person who can connect them to the crime. Satoshi Hojo is not just a simple criminal. He was set up. And after that, my suspicions were confirmed, for he abruptly vanished. He disappeared in such a puzzling way. He didn't run because he was afraid that his crime had come to light. Another culprit came into the picture. He was already arrested for a different crime, and furthermore, he died while in prison. Wait, what? He confessed to information only the culprit himself would have known. Therefore, he must be the culprit. But as he's already dead, the investigation was closed. Then Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days after the festival. It's obvious someone doesn't want Satoshi Hojo to be connected to this incident. My boss put pressure on me to close the investigation and to file Satoshi Hojo's disappearance as a separate incident. He even handed the case over to a different section. The way this case is closing so rapidly greatly resembles the same trick used 2 years ago with the Hojo couple's accident. There's no doubt it's the work of someone who can put pressure on the police. Damn, he's smart, fucking yo, man. Damn. Clap. As it happens, the Sonosaki family is the only one who can actually exact influence on the police department here in the Hinamizawa area. Although that is wrong. Sorry, boyo. They may think their trails are covered. I read that as trials in my head for some reason. I don't know why. But this points towards them more clearly than anything. According to my informant, Uryu Sonosaki mentioned the 4th year's curse at the family meeting and hinted that she was the one behind it all. Hinting isn't strong enough evidence, but there is no mistaking that Uryu Sonosaki is the one pulling the strings. I'm sorry that I break it to you, bud, but it actually isn't. She's just accepting the fucking throws at her, man. God damn. Fucking... She's trying to look badass for the whole village. But she's just a fucking pawn in another person's game, man. Oh, man. Anyway. I know they're the ones who did it, who did in the old man. The first victim with the dismemberment. But I just can't grab them. The principal, the what? Sorry. The principal offender is still on the loose, but I'm sure he's being sheltered somewhere by the Sonosaki family. I have to locate him and find that missing right arm. I'll return the arm to his grave and make the principal offender and the masterminds both bow down before it. Damn. However, just like how Satoshi Hojo disappeared, it's possible the principal offender has already been eliminated. I bet he's already been killed and buried somewhere nobody can find. If that's the case, then that's fine. I'll make the old bag who ordered someone to kill the old man slam her forehead on the ground before his grave. This, I swear. After the 4th year's curse, people are already saying something will happen again next year. Even with all my preparations, I couldn't prevent the accident from happening this time. It's too late if something happens. I must keep my eyes on the core of the village before something takes place. There's a reason why I have to get to the bottom of this by next year. Because I'm retiring. My mother has been wanting to go back to her hometown in Hokkaido. I read that wrong so bad. I butchered the fuck out of it. Oh, shit. I believe it's Hokkaido, right? Hokkaido? Shit. I don't know. Back to her hometown in Hokkaido. I don't know. I'm sorry if I did butcher the fuck out of it. And for a long time, she's been asking me to move there when I retire. I feel that's the least I can do for her, so I agreed to move to Hokkaido when I retire. So next year is my last chance to avenge the old man's death. It happened 4 years in a row, so more than likely there will be a 5th curse too. As a result of the series of mysterious deaths, the village has been tightly knit together since the dam protests. They were told that betrayers will be punished in the name of the curse. To the masterminds, that's enough reason to continue with their series of mysterious deaths. According to rumors, this year's victim, the aunt, was cursed because she didn't participate in the Watanagashi festival. So there are villagers who believe that if they don't participate in next year's Watanagashi, they'll be cursed. It'll be a huge festival next year for sure. Something will happen. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I will avenge the old man. I definitely will. Woo! Alright, I fucked up a little bit sometimes there. Not my strong hour, it seems like. Cool. Alright, so how far along are we in on the recording? Alright. Not bad, not bad. So next up we got... New Wind. Cool.
それじゃ、俺はそろそろおいとましますわ。
You do that.
どうもごちそうさまでした。
ねえねえ。また来たってな。
ただいまー。ってあれ、ひろしおじさん、お久しぶりです。
おお、ニアンちゃん、今帰りかい。おじさんは今から送迎だよ。
送迎？ああ、不動産屋さんのお仕事？
The Sonozaki family is one of the largest landowners here in the Hinamizawa area. However, since all the land is out here in the countryside, it just ends up sitting there. Recently, the land owned by the Sonozaki family was put on sale in lots. At the family meeting, some of our relatives opposed the idea by saying we shouldn't sell off land that was handed down from our ancestors. But Granny snapped and shut them right up. Okay. Some of the unused fields were made into vacant lots and released for public sale. Ah, okay, I can see where this is going. I can see. Alrighty then. Actually, I had some questions about it too. The Sonozaki family is very wealthy. You sure about that? We have plenty of land, as well as money. So why did we have to sell it off? Haha! Asking the important questions, eh? What's more surprising to me is that Granny was the one who came up with the idea. I would have thought she'd get furious if someone even mentioned something like that.
じゃあね、駅前に寄った時はぜひ遊びにおいでよ。麦茶くらいごちそうするから。
はい、ありがとうございます。お仕事はどんな感じですか？
都会な人が案外興味を持ってくれたからびっくりだわ。便利な都会に住みながら、わざわざこんな田舎に別荘が持ちたい小金持ちばっかりだね。
やれやれ、物好きなことで。
一見、別荘じゃなくて、引っ越しで検討されてるお宅があったね。アトリエが持ちたいとか言ってたから、画家さんとかかね。
Wonder whose family this could be.
へえ、そりゃすごいや。
おっと、いけねえわ。じゃあ、おじさんはバスに戻るわ。
Supposedly, he planned a tour to show them the slots, and he's the one driving the bus. It should be about the time of the tour, and explanations to end. He left in a hurry.
ねえ、聞いていい？
So what, the tour was right there and then? Oh, okay.
よそ者嫌いのバッチャがさ、どうしてわざわざ分譲地なんかにしたの？
Because they're not actually wealthy and they need the monies.
あたしゃよそ者なんか嫌いだし。だが、村にゃ必要なんよ。
Right.
空気の入れ替えみたいなもんさな。
外の人が来ることで何か村にいい影響があるっていうこと？
こかい村だね。今忙しい世の中だから一日たりともそったしといとくらんかな。昔だったら10年20年住んでても何にも変わらん変化のない静かな村だったんよ。
まあそれが田舎ってもんだしね。この村じゃ昨日と今日と明日に何の違いもない。あたしゃ退屈だけどね。
でも友達ができたろ。外から竜宮のレナちゃんが引っ越してきて友達になってくれたんだろうが。 近い年の友達ができて嬉しい言うとったがな。
うん。予期せぬ友達が突然できるのは楽しいね。
レナちゃんが来んとな。ミオン、学校が退屈だ言うとったね。いやー、覚えとる。
それが外から引っ越してくることによる効果だって言いたいわけ？
どんな寒い冬場にかて、たまには換気をせんとな。いろり寒くてしんど
Sorry,
い
god
な
damn
承
it.
知で。
Those pauses, man, they always get me.
ヒーター開けることもあるんよ。
Alright, we'll pause and read. God damn. Stop pausing. Fuck.
外から人を迎えることが村の換気になる。
ああ、そしてきれいな空気を入れて、あたしらみたいな悪い空気はとっとと追い出されるべきなんよ。
Ah. If I bring up the Hojo family, I know Granny will explode, so I won't. But I think what Granny is trying to say includes things like their ongoing isolation. Even now, when she remembers about what had happened at that explanatory meeting, she gets really upset. But I guess even she feels the need to come to an end. But of course she can't just say she'll forgive them. Not when she's at this stubborn age. Yes, being old sure is stubborn. She can't lose face by openly saying they need to be forgiven. Honestly, I think she's behaving like a little schoolgirl who actually likes a person but treats them rudely when they're around. I think that analogy is a little meh, but okay, yeah, sure. Maybe people really do go back to being children when they get old enough. I'm not just talking about Granny. The same can be said about all of the old people in the village. No, maybe I should say the evil around here. Evil! That must be what she meant by bad air. There's no use circulating the air in a closed room. Unless you open the windows and let fresh air in, the air in the room won't be purified.
実際に引っ越してくる人があるかはわからないけど、その人にそこまでを期待しちゃうのは気の毒じゃない？
レナちゃんが一人転校してきても、ミオンは変わるね。誰が引っ越してきても、きっと村は変わる。願わくば、それが元気な若者で、わしら年寄り連中が安心して村を任せられるくらい大暴れしてくれよると嬉しいんだが。
Wonder who that refers to.
それこそ年寄り連中がもうやっとれんね、あの世に退散するわいうくらいにな。
I got a feeling you're not going to heaven, but to a certain place down below.
死んだおじいちゃんの話？
あ、ほんとれ。誰がじいさまの話をしたんよ。
Who cares about that old buggard?
ほれ、お手伝いさん言って、縁側のお茶を片付けさせてくれな。
へいへい。了解了解。
ミオン。北条聡が消えた日、前、あたしに詰め寄ったろが。
ああ、そんなこともしたね。
あたしゃな、あれで目が覚めたんよ。北条家がどうのこうのいう問題は、年寄り連中が死ねば、時間が解決してくれるなんてんじゃあかんね。
Oh, go suck a bag of dicks.
そんなの待たず、 はよ解決せんとなあかん。
Yeah. Even to the point where the uncle comes back and abuses the child, and yeah. You really woke up. Yeah. Again, eat a bag of dicks.
でも
Anyway.
自分にはそれができないから、よそ者にそれを託す。
Oh, go fucking suck it.
それが私にできる精一杯だね。
Talk about lazy.
どんな悪い手札だって、次のドローでいい札が入れば流れが変わるきっかけになることもある。それに期待して山から札を引くのもありかもしれない。
新しい風は、ミオ。
The new wind!
お前らの世代
She
に
said
な
the
る
thing!
外の風を迎え入れたれな。
Twice! My god, the name of the fragment. Son of a bitch.
そして、お前は内からの風となって、混じり合いながら、村のよどみを吹き飛ばしてくれ。
他力本願の極みだね。自分が火種を作ったくせに、孫にその尻拭いをさせるとは。
そういいなや。新しい風を、新しいそのだけの当主として、村に。
それが、
I skipped again!
次期当主の仕事だってんなら。
Oh god, you all hate my fucking guts right now. I know it. I just fucking know it. I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't really need to pause and read for that. Anyway.
頼むわ。ミオン。あたしゃおいたね。
Right.
もう、憎まれ役しかできん。
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do these days, huh? The wind chimes sounded quietly. Maybe that's a sign to let us know a cool breeze is on the way. That was a quickie. A mighty good quickie. Ha ha ha, giggity. Alright, well that's gonna be the end of this video here. Because the way I'm looking at it, there's gonna be 2 videos left, possibly 3 if pushing it. So that's actually pretty good. The amount of fragments left, and then the secret ending, and then we continue on with our lives. It's looking good. Maybe. And the sound you're hearing right now, that is me cracking my knuckles. Feels good. Although if I keep doing it, bad news for my old ass. Anyway. So yeah. I guess that is where we're gonna leave it off, because the next few fragments are gonna be quite the pickies. Quite the pickies. Actually, there is one. Nah, I'll leave it for the next one. It hardly matters. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop my rambling here and just the end of the video. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you didn't, I apologize. But if you did, then please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there will be more Higurashi soon. And once we get done with Higurashi, well, I'll be not only continuing on with Umineko, but I will be doing Steins Gate. So that will be interesting. So please, if you're looking forward to that, again, subscribe. So yeah, until then and until next time, please, as a reminder though, stay sinful, folks.